Okay, everybody, DK here with Mr. V Amps, and we got a Peavey Basic 50. This is probably like mid 80s. It's got a 12-inch speaker. It looks exactly like the Peavey Basic 40 I already own that's currently being used at the church. And other than dust, this thing's in really good condition. The Tolex isn't ripped. Everything is like here. The grounded power cord is still grounded. Nobody broke it off. I mean, so this is kind of a just plug it in and see if it explodes video. And I guess, if it needs any maintenance, we'll give it to it. I'm kind of tired, a little cranky. I'm not in the mood to work on anything right now. But with these auction treasures, you got to figure it out. So let's turn our volumes low. It's got the pull to bright just like I would expect. Yep, it's a Peavey. Alright, contact. Okay, it gave a little bit of the classic solid state thump. Okay, I can turn some volume knobs and up a little bit of crackle in that one. Might not even be enough to constitute putting cleaner in it. Oh, we got a broken pot. Okay, our presence pot back here, that's janked. Das is no good. Somebody broke the presence pot. Okay. Because that doesn't turn good. And yeah. So the presence pot is busted. Let's see if it makes any noise. Okay, so other than the presence pot being shot, and these being a little grubby in the tone stack, it works. Yippee! Yeah, what do you say we fix it? Okay, so if the Basic 50 is anything like the Basic 40, you got to take the speaker grill off, and that's held in there with Velcro. So we got to get in there with a flat blade and lift that grill up enough that we can get a grip on it. There we go. And it's got this real strong, I don't know, almost like lock block kind of Velcro stuff in there. And then we got a 12-inch speaker. This is a different speaker for sure than was on the Basic 40. Kind of looks more like an Eminence than a Peavey. 4 screws. You'll understand why we're doing this in a minute. Last time I checked, the speaker didn't have a plug on it to like unplug it from the head. So when you want to slip the head out, you're going to rip the wires off. So I'm fairly certain, and if I'm wrong, I'll tell you, but this is based on my recollection of the Basic 40. And on top of that, we'll be able to clean this up a little bit, although this really isn't that dirty other than the little spider hang out in the corner. I don't think this one's actually going to need the bath. Like the worst of these amps, when you got to give them a bath, you got to take them outside and hit them with the pressure washer or the garden hose and a scrub brush or whatever. I mean, a couple of these I've gotten in were like chia pets. They were growing something on them. This one, not so much. I figured this would be the world's most boring video. We'd plug it in, it would work. Maybe a little scratch in the pots. Maybe so that I could even milk my cleaner through the front and I wouldn't even have to take it apart. That would have been great. But no. This one wants to give me the finger. Okay. So, not that anybody really cares, but the polarity of the wires for the speaker really doesn't matter. It only counts if you have multiple speakers. Okay, this is a different speaker than my other one had. What does that say? 7077054. Okay, 258-633-43796. 43796 is probably the pertinent number. We'll look that up. Maybe we'll figure out what kind of speaker this is. It might be a Peavey speaker. It probably is a Peavey speaker because it's, you know, it's the 80s. They still made their own stuff in Mississippi rather than selling it down the river to Ding Dong, China. And then for this one, we got to take out these two and those two, and then this should come out. This is going to be such a simple video. I have a feeling if I do it in long form, it's still going to be a 10-minute video. Why am I not bothering to use power tools? That would make this job so much more efficient. Okay, so we got our little washers there. This one's kind of embedded in the Tolex. This one's not. I'll just leave them sit up there. Now, unless the world hates me, this thing should want to just slide right out the back. Oh wait, no. I'm wrong. The memory serves again. Yes, I'm remembering things. There's two more screws right here. And since we had to take it apart anyway, it'll make it easier to clean the cabinet, right? Take it upstairs to the sink and really give it a good bath. Okay, and it's escaped. What is that crusty? It's a little bit of wood from the cabinet. That's nice. Yep, and there's our speaker. And okay, there is a place on this to unplug your speaker. I don't know if the cable would have been long enough or not. It doesn't really matter. Let's deal with this. And I don't want to keep unbolting things. I don't think I got a choice. Okay, what the heck is that? A big burnt something down there. It's next door to the rectifier diodes, which are fine. It's that thing. I'll have to look on the schematic to see what that even is. I came in here for a janked up pot, and boy buddy is that one janked up. Ugh. And I always get more than I bargained for. Okay, so the blue resistor is the replacement for the fried resistor. I found them on the schematic. It's a 22 ohmer, and then I replaced the capacitor too. There was a capacitor there. This goes across the speaker. I think it's probably to prevent you from blowing it or something. Somebody must have really cranked this thing to the gills or something. I don't know. But I figured if they managed to blow the resistor, they might have beat that capacitor up too much, so change that too. As far as the pot goes, of course I don't have one exactly like that. It's a 10K with that leg configuration. But I did have one out of a mixer where the pots were supposed to like go on the surface. And I played around with the Dremel tools and I think I made it. It's a Peavey pot, so it's the same, you know, shaft part. You see, there's the replacement. There's the original. So if I can get it to physically kind of stick in there, I should be in good shape. It's the right value. Okay, so that's the new one. And I think I got it lined up real good with the other ones. It's not like way off kilter. That's all soldered in. So we're going to go and take our magic pot spray and go through the rest of the pots just because reasons. Okay, so before I go wash the cabinet and stuff, I figure we need to make sure that it's not going to explode when we turn it on. So gains are down. Turn it on. Now what's interesting is the speaker made a tick. You know how they like to pop and thump on solid stators? That one, it just ticked. And this capacitor resistor over here, this 22 ohm and whatever, that is in series with the speaker, or actually in parallel with the speaker. So I wonder if that maybe has something to do with pop suppression. I don't know. I can look at it on the schematic, but it doesn't mean I know what it does. Okay, so we have sound, and that's fine. And we have that's our bass. Treble you'll hear for sure. And then presence, which is your really high treble. So our replacement pot works fine. The compression circuit is working. These have this yellow light kicks on if you overdrive the preamp too much. So I can turn down the power amp a little bit. Let's see. Just a little bit so we get some sound, and I'll drive the bejesus out of the preamp. I'm sure it's not going to do it now. There it goes. You can see that's a compression circuit to try and protect me from blowing the speaker up. So I think everything is working now, and it's just a matter of getting the cabinet cleaned up. Okay, as far as I can tell, it's working just fine now. Unlike Fender and Ampeg amps of this size that I'm familiar with, I fixed a lot of 112 Fenders and Ampegs and things. The Peavey Basic 50, Basic 40, that whole family, they didn't scoop out the mid-range on the tone. They didn't scoop out the mid-range, so because it's there, they tend to sound a little grittier, and maybe for recording that's not as good, but for live performance, most of the time the sound guy wants to take the bass direct anyway. And for monitoring yourself, having that extra bit of mid-range actually makes the amp easier to hear without having to crank the pants out of it. So, you know, it's fine. Yeah. Happy Peavey Basic 50. What's the difference between the Basic 40 and the Basic 50? I own a Basic 40 and it works fine. Now I own a Basic 50 and it works fine now. And honestly, I can't tell. Oh well, enough crappy playing. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.